Today we get invaded by chickens, and we also talk about Siri coming to the iPad. This episode brought to you by GoToMeeting. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here. Welcome to iPad 365, the show where we look at apps to keep your iPad a-plan. My name is Jeffrey Powers, and of course you can find me over at Twitter, over at iPad 365, or email me at iPad365show@gmail.com. Just got back from New York City, lots of great stuff, but of course we're talking about iPad apps here, and the big thing is some really cool apps that are coming out in the next few weeks. We're going to be talking in a minute about what happened on the WWDC, the Apple keynote, the big one, and of course the big stuff for people here in iPad land as Siri is coming to the iPad. We'll also talk about iOS 6 a little bit. But first of all, we got to talk about games. It is Game Tuesday, and we've got a very interesting game here. You know, last week we talked about a game about birds. Well, birds and cats and mice. But this week we've got a game just about birds. Chickens, to be exact. Chickens that shoot out eggs and shoot out drumsticks and get us gold and stuff like that. Name of the game is called Chicken Invaders. And basically what it is it's kind of like Space Invaders, except using chickens. You're a ship. And you're trying to save the world. You start a new mission, and of course, you see space. You've got a little ship there, and it flies by, and it goes through its own little vignette there. But basically, what happens is you get to this screen where you're flying the ship, and of course, here comes all these chickens. Here's the first contact. We've got a chicken there. Oh, and a chicken leg that came out. And then, of course, we go straight into the invasion. Now, basically, what you do is you hold down the mouse button you hold down your finger onto the iPad and you just shoot chickens. You catch certain things. Now you see some eggs falling out of there. Those are the things you do not want to catch. What you do want to catch is chicken legs and whole chickens and these special, I don't know what they're called. They're like little nebula looking things that you get to basically power up, get better weapons and more stuff, more health for you. So you hold down the finger. The only problem I'm finding with this game is just the fact when I hold down my finger, it jumps a little bit. So the ship doesn't stay where my finger is. If I pull to the right, eventually my finger just completely misses from the ship. So then I can probably fall underneath an egg. As you can see, I just blew up from one of the eggs. There was a little package there. I grabbed that package, and of course my gun has increased. There's a little nebula one, which I just missed. And of course, you can play it for hours. It levels up and levels up. There are levels where there's more chickens just waiting in the wings to come after you. There's some gold that just fell down there. And then, of course, there's the meteor shower levels where you got to avoid the meteor shower, like in this situation. Like I said, the only downfall to this game is the fact that for some reason, the ship doesn't stay where my finger is. So if I move back and forth, eventually that ship just kind of goes away from my finger, and especially if I use a stylus, it definitely gets away, and I lose a lot of characters doing that. Once I get that problem fixed, I think that'll be a fun game. I had a lot of fun playing it. It's called Chicken Invaders, and you can check it out. It's in the iTunes App Store now. Of course, I talk about GoToMeeting all the time. Use it all the time. It's a great program, but they want to give you an iPad so you can see the power of actually doing this yourself. Now, of course, summer's here and you've got a lot of travel plans and you've got to go see family and you got to worry about all that stuff. But you also need to meet with people, and sometimes it gets a lot harder to do. That's why you have a program like GoToMeeting for your PC, for your Mac, and even for your iPad. With the HD faces, they can see you, you can see them, and you can have a great conversation. Somebody gets confused, you know that they're getting confused, you say, hey, let's fix this problem now, and then you won't be as confused as you look. You can do it in a coffee shop, you can do it in a house. You know, if the kids are at home for summer break and you need to be here because your spouse can't be there at that time, lots of great reasons to have GoToMeeting. But the biggest one is so you can meet with people face-to-face right here, right now. I'm going to give you a 30-day free trial by going over to GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free Now button, enter in the code PODCAST. Podcast gets you 30 days for free. However, GoToMeeting is actually giving away 8 iPads in the month of June. Here's what you do. go over to Facebook, go to the GoToMeeting Facebook page, and like GoToMeeting. When you hit like, you are entered into the contest. Now, if you refer a friend and they win the iPad, you will also win an iPad. And that's over at GoToMeeting. Remember, Facebook, GoToMeeting, get the 30-day free trial by going over to GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free Now button, enter in the code podcast. All right, finally, Apple held their keynote at the WWDC, the Developers Conference, and it was pretty darn spectacular. Of course, the new MacBook Pros I was really excited about. The new Mountain Lion operating system I was really excited about. But, you know, these are for the regular show. We got to talk about iPad stuff, and that's where this comes in. iOS 6, the next iteration of the iOS software, will be coming down the pike. It's in beta now. In fact, if you are a developer, you can get the beta version and put it onto your iPad. But the iOS 6 operating system will now support Siri. So you will be able to use that device that people have been doing on the commercials with Zooey Deschanel and Samuel Jackson. And you'll be able to do that on your iPad. And they've increased it tenfold. And so you can now, not only can you do simple things like, Siri, how are you? Siri, is it raining outside? You can actually do sports scores now. You can find out movie times, and you can even launch applications. So you hit a button and you say, Siri, open Facebook. Of course, Facebook is going to integrate even more into the iOS system too. So that's going to be a plus for all of you social networkers out there that use Facebook on a daily basis. You'll be able to use your Facebook and use it more into your iOS 6 system, which is really great. But Siri also has new languages, including most of the Japanese, Mandarin, Chinese. It's now going to be supported up in Canada. It's going to be supported down in Mexico. They've increased the servers, so now they can take a lot more responses. So they're ready to open it up for the iPad, which is really exciting. So you don't have it just yet, but it's a perfect time to get prepared for Siri. Now, if you have a first-generation iPad, unfortunately, you're out of luck. If you have a second-generation or a third-generation iPad, you will be able to download and update iOS 6 to your iPad. You might not have all the features, especially on an iPad 2. You might not have all the features that you would on an iPad 3, but you'll have some pretty good features, and there's no word on if Siri does work with iPad 2 just yet, or I'm still trying to figure that out. The best part about it is I still have a 3GS phone, and I can also download iOS 6 for my 3GS. But things, like I said, the Siri option probably won't work for my 3GS. Some of the other features won't work for my 3GS, but I will have iOS 6 onto the device. And that's this episode of iPad 365. What'd you think? Did you try Chicken Invaders? What'd you think about it? Let me know. Twitter me. iPad365 is the Twitter handle. Of course, you can email me at ipad365show@gmail.com. Still have the survey up over at geekazine.com/survey. Feel free to take that. We will be back in 24 when we will have another episode of iPad 365. My name is Jeffrey Powers. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out. You should follow Graphite on Twitter at GraphiteINC.